We don't just ask questions about, I know a lot of you are conservative out there, and many of you probably vote Republican, but we ask questions about what politicians do, whether they're Republican or Democrat. And to that end, we've been asking questions about the cost of President Trump's travel. Now, everyone will say, what about President Obama's travel? Let me put it this way. Anything you know about President Obama's travel is a result of Judicial Watch lawsuits. And we've documented his personal and unnecessary travel was up at $114 million. Up to date now, the numbers we have for President Trump along those lines is, what is the number? About $13 million. So I guess it's comparable more or less if you average it out over 8 years. Now the problem we're having, and it doesn't really go to whether the travel is necessary or unnecessary or whatever, is that the Secret Service is a disaster in terms of transparency. During the Obama administration, they used to be relatively cooperative. They give us the documents about the cost of travel. And we don't get all the costs, obviously, but at least we get the expenses that are easily detailed, like car rental, hotel expenses, and things like that, per diems, meal expenses. And those numbers add up. That's why we asked for them. And for whatever reason, the Obama administration, I guess they didn't like the press that they were getting about the cost of President Obama's travel. They just stopped giving us the information. And we had to sue for over 19 requests that they had simply ignored. Simply ignored. And the same has just happened with the Secret Service under President Trump. Obviously, that agency is dysfunctional in many ways, and it's concerning. We just had to sue for 9, can you believe it, 9 trips. So we had 9 different requests, and they've ignored us on all of those. Now you're saying, well, what, give them a chance. No, that's not the way it works. We've given them plenty of time. This is months. We've asked for this. We asked for these records back in the middle of last year. We still hadn't gotten responses. Now the Pentagon, they typically give us responses when we ask for Air Force One travel information. But we're not getting it from the Secret Service. And this to me is an indication of something is amiss at the Secret Service. And if you follow the issue of the Secret Service and its leadership problems, and some of the scandals at the top there, you have to wonder whether that agency needs top to bottom reform. If you can't get basic information, basic issues like this, transparency, we're not asking for anything secretive or anything that would harm the president's security. We're asking for hotel bills, expense reports. Not a big deal in terms of FOIA. And they can't even get that right. It's really troubling. So we'll be tracking this information, and it's unfortunate we've got to go to federal court to get this basic information. And what a waste of resources by the government. Because we're going to get it, I think, eventually. But the only way we do it is by going to court. And obviously, these are things that we don't necessarily want to have to do. We don't want to sue if we can just get the records directly. But the fact that we have to sue repeatedly for this type of information does not reflect well on the Secret Service that we rely on to protect the president and other important people here in Washington, D.C.